What if the most expensive thing you ever buy isn't a house, a luxury car, or an expensive vacation? What if it's something much smaller, something you couldn't truly afford in the first place? Most people think the price tag is the cost of a purchase. But in reality, the price tag is often only the beginning of the story. The real cost is usually hidden beneath the surface. Because every purchase comes with consequences that most people never notice right away. Sometimes those consequences don't appear until months or even years later. Every year, millions of people buy phones, clothes, cars, gadgets, and luxury items they cannot comfortably afford, believing those purchases will improve their lives. And in the moment, it feels incredible. The excitement is real, the satisfaction feels rewarding, and the purchase seems completely worth every dollar spent. The human brain loves new things. That's why buying something you've wanted for a long time can create a powerful feeling of excitement, achievement, and happiness almost instantly. Even the anticipation can feel rewarding. Psychologists often describe this feeling as a dopamine reward. It's the same reason people enjoy winning games, receiving compliments, or achieving goals. The brain naturally seeks immediate rewards. The problem is that the excitement from a purchase usually fades much faster than the financial obligation that comes with it. What feels exciting today can become ordinary surprisingly quickly. A new phone might feel exciting for a few weeks. A new car might feel exciting for a few months. But eventually both become part of everyday life. The monthly payments, however, often continue long after the excitement has disappeared. That's when the hidden cost begins to reveal itself. Most people focus on what they're gaining today. Very few stop to think about what they might be giving up tomorrow, next year, or even 5 years from now. And that's where many financial mistakes begin. Not because people are irresponsible, but because they naturally focus on immediate rewards rather than long-term consequences. Imagine standing in a store and seeing something you've wanted for months. You picture how happy you'll feel once it's finally yours. Your brain starts imagining the benefits, the convenience, the status, and even the compliments you might receive from other people. Everything about the purchase begins to feel positive. In that moment, it's incredibly easy to convince yourself that buying it is the right decision, even if your finances are not ready for it. The truth is that most expensive financial mistakes don't begin with bad intentions. They begin with a simple belief that one purchase won't make much difference. After all, what's the harm in buying one new phone, one luxury item, or one upgrade to your lifestyle? The purchase seems small when viewed by itself. The problem isn't usually the purchase itself. The problem is the pattern that follows it. One decision often leads to another. One purchase creates a slightly higher standard of living. Then that new standard starts feeling normal. Soon, the things that once felt luxurious begin feeling necessary. What used to be a treat slowly becomes an expectation. This process is known as lifestyle inflation, and it quietly affects people at every income level. As income grows, spending often grows right alongside it. The result is that financial progress becomes much slower than expected. Someone earning $50,000 can experience it. Someone earning $200,000 can experience it too. Because lifestyle inflation is not an income problem. It's a behavior problem. And behavior often matters more than income. And the higher your income becomes, the more dangerous this trap can become if you're not paying attention. Imagine receiving a significant raise at work. At first, you promise yourself you'll save more money and become financially stronger. But then you start noticing things you previously ignored. A nicer apartment. A newer car. Better restaurants. More subscriptions. Each upgrade seems reasonable on its own. None of them feel extreme or irresponsible. Yet together, they slowly consume the extra income you worked so hard to earn. A few months later, you look at your bank account and wonder where all the money went. The raise arrived, but financial freedom never did. In many cases, the extra income simply disappeared into new expenses before it ever had a chance to improve the person's future. And that's because spending has a unique ability to expand and fill every available space in your budget. The more room you create, the more spending tends to grow. Think of money like water flowing into a container. At first, more water seems like the solution to every problem. But if the container keeps getting larger every time more water arrives, it never actually fills up. No matter how much you pour in, it always feels incomplete. That's exactly what happens when income increases but spending rises at the same pace. Progress becomes almost invisible. No matter how much more you earn, the feeling of having enough money remains just out of reach. The finish line keeps moving further away. But the hidden cost goes far beyond spending more money. There are other consequences that are much harder to see. Many purchases are financed with credit cards, loans, or buy now pay later plans. These options have become more common than ever before. These payment methods make expensive purchases feel affordable in the moment. They reduce the immediate pain of spending. Instead of paying $1,000 today, you might only pay a small amount this month. That sounds much easier and far less intimidating. That sounds convenient. And that's exactly why these systems are so effective. They make expensive decisions feel smaller than they really are. They reduce the pain of spending by separating the purchase from the payment. The reward happens immediately while the cost is delayed. The brain focuses on the reward today while ignoring the future obligations attached to it. That's how many people accidentally create financial pressure. But future payments have a way of accumulating quietly in the background. They rarely arrive all at once. One monthly payment becomes 2. 2 become 5. 5 become 10. Before long, a large part of your income is already committed. Most people don't notice this happening because each payment seems manageable by itself. Nothing feels dangerous at first. The problem is that small obligations accumulate over time until they begin controlling a significant portion of your income. That's when financial pressure quietly starts replacing financial freedom. The money you earn no longer feels like it belongs to you. Eventually, a large portion of your income is committed before you even receive your paycheck. Decisions from the past begin controlling the future. That's when financial stress begins to appear. And often, people don't immediately understand why they feel trapped. Not because you're earning too little, but because too much of your income is already spoken for. Every dollar already has a destination. Many people think financial stress comes from a lack of money. But that's only part of the story. In reality, financial stress often comes from a lack of flexibility. The ability to adapt becomes limited. When every dollar already has a purpose, unexpected problems become much harder to handle. There is no room for mistakes. A car repair suddenly feels overwhelming because there isn't enough financial breathing room to absorb the cost comfortably. A medical bill becomes a crisis. Something that should be manageable suddenly creates panic and anxiety. A job loss becomes a financial emergency almost immediately. Without flexibility, even small setbacks can feel devastating. And that's when people begin to discover the true hidden cost of buying things they couldn't comfortably afford. The purchase didn't just cost money. It created obligations that continue affecting future decisions long after the excitement disappeared. It reduced options, increased pressure, and made the future less flexible. And perhaps the biggest hidden cost of all is one that almost nobody notices. It's called opportunity cost, and it quietly affects every financial decision you make. Opportunity cost is the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. Every choice closes the door on a different possibility. Every dollar you spend today loses the chance to do something else tomorrow. Once it's gone, it can no longer work for you. Most people only see what they're buying. They see the phone, the car, the clothes, or the luxury items sitting in front of them. Very few people stop to think about what they're sacrificing in exchange. The things you don't buy are visible. The opportunities you lose are invisible. Imagine spending $1,000 on the latest smartphone. At first glance, it seems like a simple purchase. The cost isn't just the $1,000 leaving your account. That's only the obvious part of the transaction. The hidden cost is everything that money could have become if it had been invested instead. That's the part most people never calculate. That same money could have started an emergency fund, purchased investments, reduced debt, or helped build future financial security. The difference may seem small today. $1,000 doesn't feel life-changing in the moment. But time has a way of turning small decisions into massive outcomes. That's one of the most powerful forces in personal finance. This is why financial decisions should never be judged only by today's outcome. The future matters just as much as the present. A decision that looks small today can create consequences that last for years or even decades. Time has a unique ability to amplify both good and bad money decisions. Small choices rarely stay small forever. Imagine planting a tree. In the beginning, it looks small, weak, and almost insignificant. The earlier you plant it, the more time it has to grow. Every extra year increases its potential. Money works in a very similar way. The earlier it starts working for you, the more powerful it can become. Every dollar invested has the potential to grow, earn returns, and create even more value over time. That's how wealth quietly compounds. But when money is constantly spent on things you can't afford, that growth never gets a chance to happen. The real tragedy isn't the purchase itself. It's the future opportunities that disappear because of that purchase. It's the future wealth that never gets created. The investments that never happen. The financial freedom that gets delayed. Many people believe wealth is built through giant breakthroughs, lucky opportunities, or massive salaries. In reality, wealth is usually built through hundreds of small decisions repeated consistently over many years. The decision to save instead of spend. The decision to think long-term instead of short-term. The decision to invest instead of impress. The decision to build assets instead of collecting liabilities. The decision to prioritize freedom over temporary excitement. These choices often feel boring in the moment. These decisions rarely feel dramatic when they're happening. In fact, they often feel completely ordinary. But over time, they completely transform a person's financial future. Small decisions eventually create large results. Financial freedom isn't built in a single day. It's built through thousands of choices that either move you closer to freedom or further away from it. So before making your next big purchase, ask yourself one simple question: do I truly own this purchase, or will this purchase end up owning me? Because the hidden cost of buying things you can't afford isn't the money you spend today, it's the financial freedom you sacrifice tomorrow.